All right, with President Biden's infrastructure plan costing trillions of dollars, his transportation secretary nominee is considering taxing Americans based on the number of miles they drive.
We need to bear in mind also that as vehicles become more efficient, as we pursue electrification, sooner or later, there will be questions about whether the gas tax can be effective at all. A lot has been suggested recently about the idea of vehicle miles traveled based. So if we're committed to the idea of user pays, then part of how you might do that would be based on vehicle miles traveled.
Our next guest is a truck driver who warns this would further burden those in the middle class in rural America. Gino DeFabio joins us now. Gino, thanks for being here. So what do you think of Pete Buttigieg? You bet. What do you think of Pete Buttigieg's idea of a vehicle miles tax?
You know, it comes down to, well, in this administration said they were going to build back better. They were going to make everything better for the middle class. And since the first day, they won. He wants to get rid of the Keystone Pipeline. They're coming at us. It seems like the last 4 years we had a government working for us. Now we have a government working at us. I mean, if you look at this country, this is a big country. We have people who work at our company. They drive 30 and 40 miles to work. Now, the people who are very rich are not driving to work every day. The ones that have the least amongst us, they're pretty much taken care of to the tune where they could get by. It's always the middle class paying these bills. It's always the middle class they're coming after and coming at. And it's just, you find out, when you go to fill your gas tank up and you put $35 a week, you wait till it's $65 a week. You want to talk about an increase in taxes.
Right. Yeah, many have pointed out just a couple of days into office, we're talking about oil and gas jobs lost in like the state of New Mexico, for example, Keystone XL pipeline jobs. Now we're talking about this, but I think if Pete Buttigieg were here, he'd say, well, listen, this is actually something designed to help because as more electric cars hit the road, they need to be paying their way as well. So a gas tax, for example, won't cover when we get these hybrid and electric cars out there using up the roads as well. What do you say to that?
Well, not everybody's going to have an electric car. I mean, they're acting like it's going to be tomorrow. We're going to transition to electric vehicles at some point. But for them to start now, that the tax they have on gas and diesel is not going to go away. They're just going to add this. You're going to have to track everywhere. The government, I mean, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but the government's going to know where you are, how many miles you drove. I don't want them in my car, sitting next to me in my car all day, or in my truck either all day.
Right.
It's just another thing they're governing at us instead of governing for us.
Two really good points you make. One, adding a miles traveled tax won't come in lieu of a gas tax. It will come in addition to a gas tax. You're not talking about doing away with one, putting the other in place. But the privacy point you make needs to be underscored. If the government knows everywhere you're going at all times, and some could say they already do with our phones, but adding in a vehicle miles tax, you're talking about the government keeping up with everywhere you go, Gino. Really good point there on the privacy issues as well. Gino DeFabio, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
You bet.
I appreciate it.
All right. As a new caravan is set to head to the U.S.,